All right, so I've already trained, but let's do the voiceover style. There's a zillion freaking questions in these Q&A videos. I'm never gonna be able to get through them all, but this will help. So, also, I don't mind sitting for a minute before going to do my cardio because I kind of got to breathe before I can, actually go freaking get my extra steps in. I don't know how many steps I get, but it's about 2.5 miles because 3 miles an hour, 45 minutes. I don't know. Either way, number one, Georgia Kate Downs. Do you think everyone should compete? Or does it take a particular kind of person? I've been lifting for years and I'm starting to feel like I need a larger goal to work towards, but I'm unsure if getting on stage would be mentally good for me. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely particular, or not particular, peculiar, because it's like, what's the point of getting on stage? As much as it is like, okay, I'm gonna compete and I'm gonna bring my best look that I can, and I'm gonna see how I'm gonna stick to my diet. I'm gonna do it. It's very like finite like that. It's like one point. This is my goal time that I'm aiming for, but like the nature of it, kind of. I mean, it goes against a little bit what I really care about. I don't need to be bigger than someone else. Like that's not what does it for me. I want to be bigger than I have been before. Like what gets me going isn't that I can walk around and say like, oh, like I have never walked into a gym and thought, oh yeah, I'm the biggest guy in here. Like that, that's whatever. That's not the point. The point is just being, or not being, but getting bigger for me, developing, getting more size, then dieting down, seeing myself lean, and then just moving forward like that. It's not about just this comparison of like him versus him and who looks the best and whatever. Like that's obviously that's what I'm doing because I'm going to the Arnold and then doing the Arnold UK. But I'm really, at least in my mind, it's much more so just a display. Like I want to see how crazy I'm gonna look. If I get last place, but I still look nuts for me, that's totally fine. Like that's totally freaking fine. But it is a very good. It does like kind of really pinpoint your focus. So if you think you might want to do it, it'll never hurt. Plus, in the future, you can say you did one. Like there definitely is a value in being able to say, yeah, man, shit, I did that bodybuilding show once in 2026. That was crazy. Even if you don't want to keep doing it forever. So take with that what you will. Little Red 4145. What is one thing you wish someone had said to you when you were young? And what is something you didn't? I don't know. Nobody told me something. I don't have like a weird regret of any kind of mindset that anybody's ever told me when I was younger. But what's something that I wish someone had said? Maybe not an exact phrase per se, but more so an idea. Like an idea of it takes what it takes. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is when I was younger, I was doing gymnastics. We did competitions. We're all in uniform, 10 fucking guys, all in track suits. We've got our, I forget what we call them. Everybody's like, you're getting here to fucking compete. We're swinging around the bar. We're doing flips. You're doing your routines. You're landing your stuff. Like you got a whole crowd of everybody's parents watching you. And at the time, like I was training pretty hard. Like I was very consistent with all the practices, and like I was getting good. I could do it. I could catch it. I caught like maybe 10 Tkachevs. Not very good, but if you know what I'm talking about, that's not nothing. But we all like wanted to be good. Like I remember once we're like, okay, what's everybody's goal for this year, or for what's everybody's long-term goal? We're talking about the gymnastics, and we're like, we're going to the Olympics. My ass was not going to the Olympics for sure. Like we had this idea of like we want to get better, but now with at least the lifting, I understand it's gonna take exactly what it takes. Everything that I put in, I will get out. It will be reciprocated. That energy will come back if I put it in well. all this cardio, all this dieting, all this training, all these lifts, all these bulks, all these everything, it has all added up to getting me where I am now. It was not a fluke. It was not anything. That was just what it took. And at the time, this is 14, 15-year-old me. I remember I'm in bed. We got like a competition or something. Maybe I didn't do very good. Or sometimes you get the yips and you go up to do this big ass thing and then, oh, I'm not going to do it. And then, you're like, you salute the judge, you give a little bow, and you got to walk off kind of in shame because you're like, fuck. So, but I remember I think to myself, I'm in bed, I'm like, God, shit. I wish I could just wake up good at this. Like, I wish I could just magically be super good. And that idea of like a wishing for progress, of like a wishing for just becoming better, that's a wish, man. That's nothing. That's a thought. That's just little bits of energy floating around in your mind that goes off into nothingness. So what I wish I kind of had instilled in me maybe a little bit earlier would be the idea that if you want something, you can get it. But you've got to do everything that it takes to get it. And it's not just going to happen. Like none of this shit, none of the cool stuff you ever see anybody ever do has ever just happened, But considering the fact that currently and over the last few years, I feel like I'm exactly where I want to be, I wouldn't want to go back and change anything. Even like even if I could tally up like top 10 worst Sam moments of all time, I wouldn't want to change them now, because if I did, then I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be who I am, exactly where I am right now, if all those hardships or whatever didn't happen. All right, I've said this a few times. This multiverse version of Sam, where he had no problems, he had nothing to like figure out, he had no like just catching himself like just fucking tweaking about something. That version of me is a total punk, and he never has like learned to figure shit out on his own. You know what I'm saying? So like the idea of trying to like just wishing for everything to work out magically, foolish. Right? If anything, you should try to instill your will upon your little bubble of the world and say, I want to make some shit happen here. I've got control over this. I don't have control over everything, but I've got control over this little bubble that is my space in my life and my day. If I can take control of this well, I can make some shit really happen, if you kind of feel me. Hyrule Gamer, are there any gyms or locations that you haven't worked out at but would like to at some point? Nowhere in like super particular. I feel like I've been to a lot of like really classic gyms at this point, like some powerhouses and like Gold's Venice. I haven't lifted at Muscle Beach yet, though I have seen Muscle Beach. So maybe a Muscle Beach lift would be kind of cool. It's kind of rough out there though. Like if you've ever actually been to California, like you're on the, I forget what they call it, West Palm. I don't know. If you've ever been to that beach though, it's kind of rough over there. But eventually I think there will definitely be a Muscle Beach lift. Probably next time I go down there, as long as it's warm. Maybe go in like super early and it might be a little bit more chill. Official Blue Angel, what's your max bench? So the most I've ever benched was way back in college. I did 455 flat, butt came way off. I don't even think I touched my chest, and I probably like hurt my shoulder doing it. But that was the most weight I've ever unracked, moved, and then re-racked. 450. I've done 4 plates on incline for like a couple of reps, but yeah, I don't think that I'm never gonna touch that 450 again. I might get up to like a 405 on like an incline if I'm off season, like really strong. But even then, what do I gain? A good set, but at the risk of a ripped pec? I don't know. I might just try to stick to 315, 365 and call that. That's like the speed limit. That's semi-safe in a bulk. Jack Kelly E4C, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? So, I mean, what's like, if I eat anything else, I die, or there's just no other food around? I guess it doesn't really change anything. If I can only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would definitely be beef, right? Because what's the rule? Like, can I still grind it up into ground beef and then I can still have steaks? Like, if I really did only have to pick one, it would definitely be beef. I can get by off of steaks and ground beef only for sure. Plus, as an actual like food, I'm not always one to tweak out about like, okay, I need every meal to have every micronutrient possible. But you really can't go wrong with beef. Like anybody that would imagine or that would say something like, "Oh, you can't eat only red meat," dude. If you gave me, I mean, what would that be? What's a pound? Half a pound of ground beef is like 50 or 60 grams of protein, probably 10 of fats, maybe a little bit of carbs because like muscle glycogen from the beef. But yeah, if you gave me a couple pounds of beef a day, I'll be all right. I'll be shredded. I won't be like so bulked because I won't be able to eat a ton of carbs. But it's if you've ever heard of this phrase before or read it somewhere, gluconeogenesis. If I'm eating enough protein, my body's actually going to convert it into carbs, and then that'll be how I get some of my muscle glycogen. So yeah, beef only for sure. That if I had to pick one, that would be it. When snow shuts down everything, from Morgan Murky 8317, is it worth doing an at-home workout or just taking the extra rest day? If yes to a home workout, any suggestions? I've got no equipment, he says, unfortunately, with a crying, distressed emoji. It depends what the workout is, because some home workouts are actually much easier than others. Like I could do arms at home very feasibly. You can do back at home very feasibly. That's assuming you might be able to somehow like go in your basement and maybe there's like a pipe on the ceiling or something if you've got like exposed like supports or whatever. But you can even take two like kitchen chairs and then put a broomstick in between them and do like basically the equivalent of a sissy push-up or a knee push-up. You have your feet on the ground, but you're doing a row with just your body weight. But with biceps and like shoulders at home, easy, dude. You can grab a gallon of water or just like a backpack or anything slightly heavy. Like I could get an insane shoulder pump with the 10-pound dumbbell. I'd just sit here and do fucking, 20 reps, 20 reps, 20 reps, 20 reps, kind of maybe do some higher volume stuff and burn out, and then do the same for front delts and then do the same for rear. Yeah, I mean, you don't always need a ton of weight. So if you have to stay home, you can definitely get some shoulders, biceps. Triceps is a little tricky. You'd have to, excuse me, you'd have to do like tricep kickbacks with something. But if you have anything of any substantial weight, just put a bunch of stuff in like a little bag. That's very doable. So shoulders and arms at home, you could definitely throw that in. But if you think you might need a rest day, you haven't taken one for a while, it's good to have them in the arsenal. Like if you don't take a ton of rest days, then anytime your training gets thrown off from like weather or just random shit like that, well then you do have a buffer and you can say, all right, shit, well, I guess today will be the rest day. But try not to do it as an excuse. Like actually make it make sense in your mind. Mihol Wad HWA, NWA or Wu-Tang? 5 question marks during workouts. I don't have a lot of Wu-Tang experience, so definitely NWA. But my whole like track is like this huge discography of like all sorts. I was listening to Windmills of Your Mind, this Ariana Grande by TikTok edit where it's a little more funkish today. There's all sorts of stuff. Let's see. Let's get one more good one, and then we can scram. Oh yeah, here we go. Skylar Duel. So I have a reconstructed ankle from a motocross crash, and I want to know what's best for leg workouts that don't require so much ankle movement. I have motion to a point, and then it locks on me. Love from Idaho. So I would assume that would mean that your ankle is only able to bend so far back. Like standing, you're probably fine, like when your foot is at this 90-degree angle. But if you were to bend too far forward and like bring your toes closer to your shin, this is what you're talking about where it locks up. So I guess I'd have to know where that is. Because you can still, if the weight of like pushing through your ankle isn't a problem and it's just a mobility thing, you could definitely do, or maybe not, squats might be kind of freaky if you've got the ankle thing going on, but Smith machine squats for sure, and then just really elevate your heels. Like maybe do a 45-pound bumper plate, 25-pound bumper plate, depending on what you can handle. Because the more elevated your heels go, then when you bend your knee or when you bend down to squat, your foot doesn't actually get too stretched. Like you're still in kind of a natural standing position, even though you're at the bottom of a squat because your heel is so far elevated. But other than that, just do a bunch of leg extensions and leg curls, man. You know, like it's not all about pressing, that's for sure. So, last one right here, your Chester. Would you encourage protein powder or are you more of a real food guy? So, I would definitely say if you had to pick one, it's going to be in your best interest to leverage the real food side of things. But it's not as though protein powder isn't quality protein either. But I'd categorize it as a supplement, right? I'm not going to do 10, I'm not going to do 150 grams of protein in a day from shakes and powder. But throwing them in kind of every so often, yeah, I mean, that's cool. So usually in an off season, I find protein powder to be the most beneficial because then I can drink my protein in some meals. Instead of eating 50 grams of protein worth of a ground beef, which is going to be pretty filling, I can slam 50 grams of protein from a shake like nothing. And then I feel like I've got more room in my stomach for more carbs, more fats from like, you know, a fuel-based kind of thing with like rice and eggs or something. And it just makes it easier to eat, you know. But if you had to pick one, lean a little more towards regular whole food, beef, chicken, eggs, stuff like that. I can give you a solid ass recommendation. It's either, I think it's the raw hot cocoa protein or the hot chocolate protein powder. I was actually like, this isn't like, oh, I've got to say something. Like it's actually freaking crazy. I just wanted to scoop like just one in a shaker because I'm kind of hungry, but I was in a rush to get out of the house. So it's like, all right, I'll just have some protein powder. It's fine. So I get a scoop out, you know, shake it up. I ended up doing 2 more scoops after. So I had like a small shake, and then after drinking it, I had an actual bigger one. I'll put the link to it too, because it kind of, I mean, it's kind of like a treat because they put these little like miniature dehydrated marshmallow like bits into the powder. So it's got like 4 grams of fat and like 6 or 8 grams of carbs per scoop. So it's not like a super lean protein because it's got kind of the extra treat size from like the sugar from the marshmallows and the chocolate. But it was like if I threw some blended up ice in there, that would be solid. But I don't want to drink all my protein all day. But I have been throwing that in a little bit more than maybe a little more than I should, honestly. But yeah, that's all there. So let's get to the pose down, man. We're done. All right, there we go. Yeah, now I feel like I'm kind of officially cheating the system because I can have the camera send the video to my phone, so I can look directly at my own reflection and see if I've got one arm higher or lower than the other. I used to do this when I was posing. Back to a bicep shot. I can't see myself in the mirror. This felt very symmetrical at the time. You know, no good at all. But let's not waste any precious moments of being pumped and get straight to it. Let's see how we're looking on this fine Friday morning. If I can figure out how to come on. There we go. Make the lighting a little more directly backlit. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So even through the shirt is a very good indicator of what we've got going on in here. Like just get a glimpse of that. I'm not even flexing. I'm legitimately not even flexing. I've just got my shirt pulled extra tight across the front of me and just putting my hands on my sides, like lat separation, lower back, mid traps. It's all right there. Like this is completely natural, just, leaning forward a little bit. So that is, let's just say that is a very good sign. Let's hit an actual lat spread, and then we can jump to the real pose down. Oh, yeah. How often do you see the fucking Christmas tree through a shirt? Not all the time. Not all the freaking time. That's for sure. So yeah, this is very, it's the opposite of disheartening. This is very heartening for me to see, if that's even a real freaking word. Oh, whew, my goodness. Oh. Oh man. Yeah, what else is there? All right, I think I've got a new favorite pose down spot. That is for sure. Like, just every little bit of grain and detail is all just coming out to be freaking revealed. And this is the craziest part. Like, this side layer of pinchable skin has never been this thin for me. And it's not even final form. Like, I'm getting close, but there's still a lot of, well, relatively, a chunk of body fat here that I can gradually burn off. And then when I actually water deplete, carb up, really like focus on thinning out that skin layer and filling up muscularly underneath, dude, it's gonna be freaking nuts. I tell you what, that's something I can guarantee. Let me hit one more Christmas tree. I can't even help myself here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, in terms of posing, that is all I freaking got. So, next up, 45 minutes on the treadmill at Planet Fitness, which the time will pass by much quicker just knowing there's people there, a little bit higher energy. Like, I don't need people around for me to hit my lift. I actually do like the just silence in here. It kind of lets me, I feel like it's not like I need help to focus, but it definitely doesn't hurt me not to have any other distractions during the training. But during cardio, I like it. But no, I would be, I tell you something, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a big shout out. I don't do this a lot. A big ass shout out to my coach for getting me this lean. He's got me on this cardio plan. He's got me, he's in charge of all my training. He's telling me what meals to eat. He tells me when I can have a little bit of a refeed. Dude, awesome guy. And he's funny too. Oh, yeah. Too blessed to have this dude as my coach, that's for sure. But let's get in the car.